Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the channel, and I'm here for an album review. Now for this review, I'm going to be reviewing an album by the legendary supergroup Asia. And the album that I'll be reviewing from Asia is their album Arena, of course from the John Payne era. And I wanted to review this album because I feel like I do have some rather interesting thoughts on this album. Because while I don't think that the album is one of their best, I do think that this album has some very good songs. Now, one thing that I've noticed in this album personally, now this could just be me, but I feel like John Payne doesn't really have as much range on this album like he did on the first two albums with Asia, Aqua, and Aria. I do feel like his vocals just had a lot more range on those albums than in this album. I feel like in this album his vocals are a little more reserved, I guess you could say. But definitely not bad though. I still think he sounds very good on this album. He still does deliver a lot of emotion in his voice throughout this album. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just prefer his vocal work on the albums that I've mentioned previously. And you can definitely tell that the first half of this album is definitely much stronger than the second half. Now the album starts off with Into the Arena, which is just an introduction to the title track Arena. Definitely one of the best songs on the album, probably one of my favorites on the album. I just think it's a very cool song that's just very memorable and intriguing. And then we got Heaven, which is maybe my favorite song on the album, to be honest. If not, it's definitely within my top 3 favorite songs on the album, if nothing else. Definitely a really solid track for sure that I find very intriguing. I really like the emotion in this song as well, and it's a very memorable song as well, I would say. Then we got Two Sides of the Moon, which, I'll be honest, I only think that this song is okay. And then we got The Day Before the War. Now, when I first heard this album, I was actually not that crazy about this song, but this song has surprisingly grew on me. I actually really like this song now. I would even say it's one of my favorites on the album. It is one of the longer tracks on the album too, and it probably is one of the more proggy tracks on the album. The instrumentation has this dark mood to it, which I find kind of interesting, and the vocal work in the song is very moody as well. It just delivers this moody vibe that I find kind of intriguing, I guess. Definitely a really good song though. And then we got songs like Never, Falling, and Words. Now Words I think is an okay song actually, but my main issue with this song is mainly just where the song goes musically after the 2-minute or so mark, because this song Words, like the first couple minutes of this song, it's a really enjoyable track. It is, but after that it's like the song just musically doesn't go anywhere, you know, and it just has a bunch of filler moments. But all in all, I can't say it's bad. And then we got You Bring Me Down. Nothing too mind-blowing or anything, but still a pretty good song, I'd say, but nothing too noteworthy. Tell Me Why is a decent song. Not one of the best on the album, but it's alright. Now, Turn It Around is probably the best song on the second half of this album. I do find the song pretty memorable for the most part. And it is a little intriguing. Nothing too complex or anything, and not everything has to be complex. That is something that I do want to point out. But all in all, I think that this is one of the better songs off of this album. I think it's a very good song. And then we got Bella Nova, which is just an instrumental, and this is the track that wraps up the entire album. And I'll be honest, this instrumental, I only find it okay. It really doesn't do a whole lot for me, but that's just my take on it. So overall, you guys could tell that I do have some mixed feelings about this album. I do think that there are definitely a lot of really good moments from this album, musically and vocally and all that, but the album is just missing something. And I do have to say that one major complaint that I do have with this album is the lyrics. Not that the lyrics are necessarily bad or anything, but they're just kind of mediocre at best. And with some of the choruses on this album and some of the lyrics, I mean, I just can't help but think, like, really. Like, this is the best that they can do. And I also will say that there is some filler moments on this album. Like, maybe there's some filler moments in some of the songs, or maybe even you could even take out a couple songs off this album, like songs like Never and Falling. You could easily take those songs off the album and it would probably be much better, to be honest. But all in all, I do think that there is some very strong moments on this album, like the title track, Heaven, The Day Before the War, and Turn It Around are all really great songs, I think. The rest of the album is either just okay or just kind of mediocre at best. But overall, that is my review of Arena by Asia. I think it's a decent album, so if I were to give it a score, I'd probably have to give it 6.7 out of 10. It's an alright album, so let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, and take care.